What's up guys, Eric here, another VOD review from the Iguana Masters tournament. If you didn't catch my last video, this is the first tournament of set 10 with a ton of European and North American players. This lobby I'm pretty sure this is all European players because I don't know who any of these people are, except for Snooty Boo, who we watched last game, who absolutely popped off a really cool, just sort of like fast 8, fast 9 type line, really flexible, strong play. This game we get dropped an early Riven, and we already have the early 8-bit in, which you can stack on minions. So curious to see what we end up doing this game. Maybe playing around Riven, I think would be really cool, because this is something that I've seen dominate some lobbies, but honestly, I've tried playing around it and I have not had much success. It's really, I just tried playing around it the one time and it was just terrible. Like I just ran it down with Riven. So I'm curious to see what potentially makes this comp tick. And look at that! Wow! Oh my God! It's a almost full gold opener. Oh, it's a full gold opener. Yeah, there's no more full gold than that. I mean, you could potentially take Three's Company for extra econ. He's gonna take You Have My Sword. Give him sort of guaranteed Edge of Night if he wants it. Death's Defiance. I mean, that's perfect Riven item potentially. And wow, he's just gonna itemize the. Wow, okay, so he's gonna itemize the Yasuo. I'm curious if this ends up being a Yasuo game or if he ends up opting to play into Riven, because there's two sort of options, right? I mean, we've already leveled here, so I assume we're not actually playing around Yasuo, and we're just gonna use Yasuo to item hold early game as our chosen here for the Riven, and then eventually we're gonna pivot items to Riven, I assume. We'll see. And oh my God, look at how much work this Yasuo did with the Edge of Night. Yeah, just the Edge of Night plus the Death's Defiance. And yeah, I mean, he's breaking out Team Builder. I think he has an idea of what late game board he already wants to play. Yeah, he's gonna start looking at it. You know, set 10 is all about flex play, but I do think he's definitely starting to build the board in his mind with this early Riven, with this early 3 edgelord board, and yeah, potentially we'll see a Riven game. But the nice thing about set 10 is actually that, you know, like you can have a line like this in mind, but if you get a really strong chosen that points you in another direction, maybe we get like a Zed chosen, maybe we just end up playing that instead of this comp. Though I guess you're probably not gonna get a Zed chosen until you go level 8. So yeah, you've sort of decided on this comp based on the level that you stay. You know, like if you're staying level 7, then you're never going to find level 8 chosen. But look, maybe we find another really cool 3-cost chosen, and then we pivot into that board. Who knows? I feel like this set really encourages flexibility with this chosen mechanic, the headliner mechanic, if you want to be technical. So I'm curious to see. You know, this certainly looks like a game where we're going to play around Riven. You know, like we have these Yasuos, but we're pushing fast level 5. It's not like we're going to play around Yasuo. Really cool to see, though, because I think in previous sets, you would definitely just slam your items on this Riven because you know you're going to play around the Riven. But because of the way the headliner mechanic works, we actually slam our items on this Yasuo. He's going to item hold until we hit a headliner Riven. And the other nice thing about this is that by not slamming items on Riven, if we hit a headliner version of the Riven, then we can move the items to the headliner version. Because the problem with slamming items onto this Riven when you don't have the headliner version yet is that you have these items on Riven, but then you find the headliner version, and then you're not able to actually play the headliner version until you hit 3-star. I've had this happen to me before, where I just item carry items on the unit that I want to actually carry, but then I hit the same headliner version of them later, and then I'm stuck keeping the headliner version on the bench because I want it for 3-star, but it doesn't actually, you know, I'd much prefer to itemize that one because it gets that unique headliner bonus. So really cool to see this, where, you know, you're carrying your headliner and then we're going to pivot into a different headliner later game, I have to imagine. And I mean, it's absolutely paying off. 4-streak here, that there's 2 other people who are also 4-streaking. It's all of the, I mean, some of these people, one of these people is not going to be able to win streak for sure. It's possible that 2 of them can. It's possible, I guess, that none of them can, maybe. I feel like, I mean, 2 of them are guaranteed to fight each other. Snooty Boo actually does not fight the other win streaker, though he's fighting a really strong board. This is set 2, though the Yasuo is eventually able to get through that. Can the Corki and the Kale clean this up? Feels like definitely they can. So that is going to be a win there. And we look, this other 100-streaker player, yeah, fought somebody else and ended up losing. So no 100-streaker there. We do end up already, wow, with the Riven too, which is crazy. Also, there's this Nartu in shop, which could maybe be played around as like a pentakill. But yeah, here's the thing. Like, we still can't get chosen Riven. Really until level 7. You can maybe find it on 6, but you kind of have to high roll to find it on 6. So I'm actually really interested to see what we do here. Yeah, he's gonna play the Superfan Gnar. Wow, really, really cool stuff. So Superfan Gnar, and then yeah, you just put the items onto the Gnar. He can hold onto these items really, really well. And then I guess the rest of our items are gonna be like tank items for now. He's gonna go QSS, which is gonna be our last item for Riven. Yeah, really, really smart stuff. Make the QSS, just put it onto Corki. Wow, so this is how you play 3-cost reroll this set. I feel like this is like kind of eye-opening to me because like I definitely I've never played around this chosen mechanic before. I'm more of a person who's played around. I mean, I didn't really play in set 4. He also does have 6 Nars at this point. It could actually, speaking about like the potential pivots, it could actually be a Nar reroll game. Unified seems solid. I wouldn't really want to take Last Stand when we're 100 streaking here. Yeah, Unified seems solid. I mean, look at this. That's 7 Nars. I wonder if you're ever tempted to just pivot into a Nar reroll comp from this spot. This is what I was talking about earlier, right? With the way that Chosens work, you're really incentivized to pivot into Gnar reroll here potentially because you have 7 Gnars at this point. We had that Gnar 2, found a chosen Gnar, found one more, and all of a sudden we have 7. Like, that's crazy. So really, really interested to see if he wants to play on this Gnar or if he wants to play around Riven. I feel like Riven is really, really strong, so he might still end up just playing around Riven because of the strength. But like, if his next shop has a Gnar in it, if prior to going 7 he hits another Gnar, like, I feel like you have to just take the free Gnar 3, but I mean, we will see. That's the thing about this set is so much can change during the game itself. Really, really cool to see. What are these other items meant to become? Because like, if you buy that these are your 3 Riven items, I don't know what board you're actually meant to play around this comp. I feel like you're always playing 3 edgelord if you want to play around Riven, but outside of that, I'm not actually sure. Like, do you want to play? I've seen some people, I think, talk about like you play 4 8-bit, but like I don't know, that gives you a decent amount of AD. It's certainly solid, but it just feels a little bit awkward to play 4 units like for just this extra AD. Theoretically, you can hit like an 8-bit Riven potentially. I guess it depends on what you get as the Riven's chosen trait. I assume you wanted to finish tank items here, but I don't think we're going to be able to, so we're just going to grab a bow here with this rod. Maybe it's a... Hey, is it a Gwinsu? I don't know who you would put Gwinsu on. I mean, throw the Yone in and Gwinsu the Yone. He's gonna make Titans. Okay, yeah, that seems like a much more reasonable item actually. But then the problem with making Titans is what are we doing with this rod still? I guess it could be like maybe a Gunblade or something like that. I don't know. Curious to see. Because yeah, I mean Titans definitely seems like a more solid item for a lot of these a lot of these units, the edgelord units like a Yone, like you duo carry Riven and Yone perhaps, and put like Titans on Yone, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like there's still so much game to be played at this point. It feels so cool to see how the game is going to change based on what units we hit. He did push 7 because it was pretty cheap to do. He still got to keep 30 gold and go 7. But that means he's probably leaning away from the potential Gnar 3. He's looking, I would think, more to, play around the Riven at this point, I would think. But we'll see. He can roll a bit at 4-1 here. He only has 3 Riven, so it's not like he's going to hit Riven 3 like Giga early at 4-1 unless he high rolls pretty hard. But he could start like pivoting into the main board, find that chosen Riven, and then move the items over to her. I guess we will see what he ends up doing. Looks like our 9 streak is going to come to an end here, fighting against a Corki 3. Pretty cool unit. And yeah, he even sells a Gnar here just to say, like, I'm guaranteed not playing around this Gnar 3. And he's going to even start rolling now just to make the game a little bit easier on himself because he knows that he has to make this pivot. This is something that I think we're going to see a lot more of this set is the pivoting on minions because, like, there's just so many big brain pivots. There's so much speed that you need this set in a roll down like this. Wow. Actually goes for the chosen Yone. So maybe it's actually a Yone reroll game here. Pretty cool. So yeah, like, I think Riven is definitely a unit you see a lot more people playing around, but I think, yeah, this is going to be chosen Yone is going to be potentially our main carry, just because we hit that instead of the Riven. Flexibility, oh my god. Just, like, okay, yeah, you see a chosen Yone. I mean, obviously it fits really well onto your board. He's playing 5 edgelord, 3 Penta, 2 8-bit, which is pretty cool. He's got, who are his Penta units? He's got the Kalen. Did he hit I guess he must have hit a, the jumpy guy, the big slap guy. No, he didn't actually hit the big slap guy. Inspiring Epitaph seems really nice in this comp. I feel like you'd have to take that. No, he's just playing Karthus and the Gnar still. Oh my god, that's a Kayn. Yeah, you can just get that in over the random Yasuo here, and he's going to get this in. I feel like Karthus doesn't really do anything except feed the backline mana, so I I think this makes a lot of sense. And he's actually going to pivot out of the Caitlyn, also just sort of having a similar idea that like Caitlyn is not going to do too much. Maybe he has an idea of getting Mordekaiser in, and that's why he's holding on to this guy so he can get Sentinel in, I would imagine. But yeah, I don't think Karthus does too much. What was I saying before this? I feel like I had a point that I like half made. Epitaph, Inspiring Epitaph's good. The Kayn transforms, which this Kayn unit's pretty cool. So we lost that fight. This means that Kayn transforms into whichever version this is. I don't know. I wasn't a Kayn man. Which means for every 2, it's either kills or takedowns. I think it's every 2 kills the Kayn gets. He heals you, the player, for 1 HP, which is really cool. He's not so much, he's not like Soraka in the past, just because I feel like Soraka gave you that guaranteed 2 HP. Kayn, I feel like, is a lot more swingy than that. If you itemize him, he can maybe heal you up a lot, but, like a lot of times you're not going to have the luxury of itemizing him, so he's just going to sit there and, like, honestly do nothing. But if you do have a carry Kayn, he can farm you HP, or if you win, he starts farming you gold, which is really, really cool. Last item off carousel going to be this cloak here. Interesting on the cloak. I mean, we still, like I said, have this route. I mean, maybe it's Ionic for, maybe it's Ionic Kayn, I guess. He decided to go 8 here and start rolling, which is pretty interesting, because I assume this was a 3-cost reroll idea. And yeah, it still looks like 3-cost reroll, but yeah, he decided to go 8. He can fit in Sentinel in here. He still hasn't found that Mordekaiser for potentially just the Heartsteel, or not the Heartsteel, the Pentakill Sentinel. But really surprised by him going 8 here. I think maybe he just does this to give himself a little bit more flexibility. If he hits a 4-cost carry, there's nothing tying him down to this comp. He doesn't have to play this comp whatsoever. So, like if he hits a 4-cost chosen that's solid, maybe he just plays that. Wow, really, really nice pickup here, though, is the Yorick. Really, really strong. I mean, the 5-cost pentakill, and it's Mosher with the Gnar, which is nice. So maybe keep Gnar in for a while and just have these 2 pentakill units in, just as like a solid, a little bit of frontline. I mean, Yorick actually adds a decent bit of frontline with all the ghouls that he summons, and he also does some amount of damage. So yeah, it seems honestly like a pretty reasonable plan. I guess going level 8 allowed you to also hit this Yorick, which is pretty cool. But I'm just surprised because, I mean, he's only 3 Yones, he's 5 Rivens. Maybe the idea is just that in this set, it's so cheap to go 8 that you do it even when you're playing reroll like this. Because I feel like, like if you were playing 3-cost reroll in a previous set with, like, especially if you're playing with like last set with last set's XP, you would never level in a spot like that because it would make you too broke. But here, I think he realizes that like he can make this plan and still like not be broke. And wow, he's actually, yeah, he was thinking about cutting the Yorick, but he's just gonna go for the 7 edgelord chase trade here, getting out of the Gnar, but still keeping. Oh no, he still has the Gnar in, but he still has 3 pentakill in, but he ends up getting out of the Yorick actually. Oh, because he must have found yeah, okay. I'm struggling to keep up on 2 times speed, honestly, this set. This set I might have to go down to like 1.5 times speed or something. But he found the, I don't know why. What is this unit called? Someone please help me. He slams Viego. He found the Viego, who is the Pentakill Edgelord, so now he can just play this version. You only, like, it's actually really easy to just fit in because Kayle is also a Pentakill Edgelord, so they like always sort of synergize with each other, and then you just need to play the 1 extra unit, which in this case is going to be Yorick for Pentakill. We are starting to sort of see the issue with going 8 in a spot like this, where we're still very far off of we're very far off of Riven. We're 2 off of still hitting the Yone. So I mean, pushing levels allowed him to hit the Yorick, but it did sort of, it made it a lot harder for him to end up hitting this potential 3-star, unless maybe he was contested, which I didn't catch because he's flashing around through all these units. Maybe that's the idea, is that he saw that he was contested on the Riven, and that's why he's made this choice. Because like outside of that, I feel like you decrease your chance of hitting so much. Still though, on this level 8 board, he ends up absolutely stomping this level 8 board. I feel like almost surprised at how well that board ended up doing. Items wise here, I feel like you go for some kind of Yorick item. Hodge seems reasonable. I don't think you want to itemize this Kayle. Oh, he's looking at the Kayle. I feel like you would just want some kind of, I don't know. I just think the 2-star Kale this late into the game, I would prefer actually just to have some more frontline. Ooh. Okay, so he sees the Riven, which is guaranteed Riven 3. And so he's going to make it happen. He's going to pivot into this Riven here. He's going to sell the Yone here and then move items. Wow, over to Viego actually over Yone. And he does put the Hodge onto the Kale. Really, really cool. Man, Headliner is so cool. Like, he was actually in a really scary spot, but now he got guaranteed Riven 3 just in his shop there. Even though he was 3 Rivens off, he just got it guaranteed. He still gets actually kind of stomped by this board just because the amount of healing with that Sona and Seraphine actually made it just impossible to get through. But that's so cool that he gets to play. Wow, look at the amount of shielding and healing that that Riven did. That was actually insane. That was like 30,000 or so. What was that? I don't know what that was. I mean, this Riven, I feel like she is so tanky, but sometimes if you rely on her as your main carry, it can be a little bit difficult. She can have trouble getting through these like really, really tanky boards. And there's a lot of those tanky boards late game. Similar fight here where, yeah, Riven, oh my god, no, she's alive. It looked like she was going to die, but she healed back up to full. My god, 11k damage from the Riven with just the 4 8-bit 5 edgelord. Yeah, he pivoted into 4 8-bit here with the Caitlyn here, and yeah, I don't know why he had the Yasuo in there, but he ends up getting the Kayn back in here. But yeah, I mean, this Riven unit, I feel like it's all about thresholds with her. Also, I think QSS is a really, really crucial item on her, so I think it makes a lot of sense that we went for that here. I assume you're going to roll down here and try to find 2-star Viego, because 2-star Viego actually matters a lot here. Not going to get baited into looking for the Yone 3, but honestly, like, he saw a lot of Yones in that roll down. Okay, Yorick too, not bad. And then I assume we just want Yorick item here. He does end up grabbing it. It's Crown Guard Yorick. Just to have a little bit more frontline, I think makes a lot of sense because this board's actually quite low frontline. This is the Corki 3 board that we were fighting earlier. Our board should be quite good into this board, actually, because this board is all about just having a lot of damage. Like, our board does well into very squishy boards. It does poor into boards with, like, a lot of tankiness. Like, I think when we refight this Sona 2, Seraphine 2 board, I feel like we're always going to lose to them unless we hit some kind of insane power threshold where we can, I don't know, somehow get through those units. But I don't know what that threshold would be. Seems very, very difficult to just get through all of these tanks with Riven. She's not really a tank buster. She does a really good job of getting through very squishy units, but yeah, I mean, we're going to be in this Nico, who only has 1 item, so we can get through her relatively quickly. The question is, can we get through this other huge tank in the Echo 3? And yeah, the answer is no. That's just not a winnable fight. Down to 5 HP. It's probably going to end up being a third here, because even though we have a decently solid board, it's hard to beat a lot of these giga-capped late game boards at this point, especially when they're playing around the Sona. It's going to be interesting because, yeah, I feel like this comp will oftentimes cap out around a third or a fourth, just because these late game Sona boards should be the bane of your existence. Like, you need an insane Riven to be able to get through all of these Sona shields, though Riven ends up on backline here, but yeah, she just doesn't have enough damage to get through all of those shields, so it will be a third for Snooty Boo. Really, really cool Riven in the game, though, especially when I thought that he was going to play around Yone, and he played around the Suo earlier. Just beautiful game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and check out my Twitch and all my other links down below. Thank you.